Ed,
shareholders.
we just want to mention the stock is currently trading at about $47, $48 a share. So we're seeing
40% bump.
Yeah, 40% bump here, right? Because stock priced at 34. So we are seeing the stock just shoot up here. So up about 40%. Again, $48 and change here. Ed, forgive me. Go ahead and pick up.
No, redhead that. Somebody in Bloomberg News send the
We're
red
doing
headline.
We're doing it. We beat the redhead. We beat the redhead.
This is what happens in real time.
Yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me do the math for you. So at $48 a share at a fully diluted basis, approximately including restricted stock and options, that's a valuation just above $9 billion. And now it's climbing higher to 49. And Bailey made really interesting points that we go back to Astera Labs 24 hours ago. It's been a really interesting condensed 24-hour IPO window where investors are like looking at these different companies that are very different and saying, I do want in on this. But the tension, I apologize, Carol, is that running a company, Reddit, and maintaining the values of the historic legacy platform, Reddit, to the mind of the user base, they are slightly incongruous ideas, competing ideas.
That's why I wonder whether that conflict is going to create some troubles going forward.
Yeah, and Ed, on that point, Ed, when we think about companies that control advertising in the social media space or just advertising online in general, we think of Google's Alphabet, or Alphabet's Google rather, we think of Meta platforms and Facebook and Instagram. Increasingly, we're starting to talk about Amazon. Not necessarily in there right now, but growing is TikTok. That's certainly becoming huge. And then also Snap, and there's been, it's a kind of a tale of two different types of media, of social media companies out there. Snap being one of those types, it's down at this point, double digits so far this year. How does Reddit fit in? How does Reddit compete with who's out there?
Well, because of the moderation factor. So the content on Reddit is moderated by its community. The moderators that moderate the forums are not paid. They have to have long-standing profile on the platform. But the point is on risk, right? So the risk that TikTok, Instagram Reels in particular, X are all carrying in this year of all years in a presidential election cycle is the dissemination of inaccurate and fake information. And Reddit would argue that the quality of the discussion on their forum is appealing to advertisers because the advertisements are not placed alongside things that might be misinformation, something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, Bailey, Ed's comment makes me think of something that's like, it's more akin to a Wikipedia with the content moderation than it is to, some of these other platforms that we talk about each and every day.
No, definitely. And you use it for home improvement stuff. I use it to help try to plan my honeymoon. But when you look at this debut, right now it's at 55%, trading north of now $53. This is coming with about 7.5 million shares trading. They sold 22 million. So this is a very active open, and this is a closely watched deal. The thing that's going to be interesting with this stock continuing to move higher is what kind of follow through do we see? And that really goes back to the whole thing that kind of Ed made the point of valuation. They pitched this trying to be valued like Meta. Right now, their valuation on a forward price to sales is higher than Meta, and Meta is the gold standard.